So when tectonic plates collide at convergent boundaries, they tend to create topography. Yeah, and perhaps one of the best examples of that process on Earth is right here in the heart of the Himalayas. I'm sitting at about 4,500 meters in the Khumbu Valley in Nepal, surrounded by some of the tallest mountains on the planet, including Mount Everest, which is just over the back here, and the one behind me, which is Now, the reason these mountains are so tall is because this is the convergence of two tectonic plates of continental crust. Yeah, and unlike oceanic crust, which is relatively dense and tends to almost always subduct, continental crust is much more silica rich and it's much more buoyant. And so neither one wants to give way. Yeah, and so the forces of collision tend to drive the plates upwards. Now, after India broke away from Gondwana a long time ago, it started speeding north at a fairly rapid clip of about 15 centimetres per year, which is pretty fast for a tectonic plate. And it started doing that about 80 million years ago. Now, when it's finally started slamming into Eurasia, about 45 million years ago, it was a case of an irresistible force meets an immovable object. And out of that, the Himalaya was born. A mighty mountain chain which extends from Afghanistan in the far west to Burma, northern Burma in the east, about 3,000 kilometres long, and it's home to all of the world's 8,000 metre plus peaks. Now, not only did this collision create the Himalaya, which is still growing at about 1 centimetre per year, it also created the vast uplifted area of the Tibetan Plateau, which is just behind me here, just behind sort of Mount Everest. And together, the Himalaya and the Tibetan Plateau influence other really important Earth systems, like the atmosphere and the hydrosphere. For example, they impact the global climate, influencing atmospheric circulation, the subtropical jet stream, as well as the annual Asian monsoon. And they also provide the source and the headwaters for many globally significant rivers and glacial systems. Rivers such as the Indus, the Ganges, the Brahmaputra and the Mekong, upon which the lives of over 2 billion people depend. So this collision of the Indian and Eurasian continental plates led to enormous sort of folding and buckling of the Earth's crust, creating an incredibly complex geology with igneous, sedimentary and metamorphic rocks all sort of juxtaposed and jumbled in together. And this is why on the upper slopes of Mount Everest one can find layers of marine limestone and marine fossils right alongside layers of highly metamorphosed igneous rocks and the remnants of ancient magma chambers. Yeah. And so this is the landscape of primal forces, incredible scale as well as incredible beauty. And it's a landscape where the power of mantle convection and its ability to shape the surface of the Earth and influence other important Earth systems like the atmosphere and the hydrosphere is revealed in all its glory.